Hello everybody. How is everybody doing today in internet land? Thank you, Louise, that's very kind. So everybody, can you hear me? That's the most important. No, it's not. No, it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is Louise. Can you hear Louise?
Can you hear me?
She's the most important thing.
Sorry, I'm just frantically trying to solve some issues here on the chat.
Yes, Louise is busy chatting to a couple of people within the chat, which is, I can't remember which side it is. It's that side, so it's that side there. Saying that they've had.
Oh, and echoing. Who's echoing there?
Messages.
Echoing.
How much of an echo? How much of an echo have we got?
Echo.
Well, but this is all well in audible land. Are we okay?
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Can I just say, if you're having trouble with your chat, a couple of people have said that messages are disappearing. Nothing gets deleted unless it's obscene, offensive, or violates the rules, which you guys never do. So if your comments are disappearing, it could be that you're on top chat and not live chat. So if you go to the top of the chat box, right at the very top, it should say either live chat or top chat. If you're on top chat, it filters. I don't know how or why, but it just shows condensed comments, or I don't know. It filters them anyway. So if you're in live chat, you should see everything. It might not recover. If you've only just switched over to live chat now, Paul, I don't know if it recovers
all the messages.
All of the messages that you've missed that have been filtered out. But yeah, you do need to be in live chat, otherwise you can't see everything.
Or the chat in order.
But you would think you would be able to see your own chat.
You would have thought so.
But yes. I don't know how it works. So yeah, try that. Any more problems, please come back to us and I will be able to fix that.
Cool.
Louise is only on the left audio channel.
You've always been on the left audio channel.
Have I?
You have, yeah.
You're really trying to silence me, isn't it?
I don't know how to get you on both channels. I really don't. I've all the time you've been on the left channel only, so I do apologise for you being solely on the left channel.
Okay.
So I do apologise.
Great.
Yeah, okay, so everybody who's come on today, we put a little post out, didn't we, Louise, on the weekends, because we had Matthew sent us this tiny rolling mill, and some people thought it was photoshopped, some people thought that it was so some people thought that it was like an April Fool and that sort of thing, but no, that is an actual rolling mill. And Louise is going to be, we're actually waiting for Matthew to come back to us regarding a discount code for you guys that we're going to release live during this chat. We're not quite sure what that code is just yet, but you can get a discount off this rolling mill. £425 plus the VAT, unfortunately. That's for the combination. I'll be showing you now because it's just by there. And there's also a flat version, a flat 50. And I think that's, I can't remember, 300 odd pound. But yeah, brilliant rolling mills plus the VAT. And I will take you over by there because I got one just by there to show you. What are you laughing at there, Louise?
Nothing.
It does look really cute, I must admit. But you know, this is the what you looking at?
I'm just looking at the size of the handle. I don't know if if it's a big handle compared to the size of the
mouse.
I was looking at your
Diddy handle, isn't it? It's a Diddy handle.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So yeah, obviously there was somebody having a bit of a go saying that it's not big enough, and he's got, no offence, but he's got 3 rolling mills and this, that and the other. Yeah, great. We all, if you've been making jewellery for a long while, you're a professional, you know, you're a seasoned pro, this mill is not really for you.
I think after 35 years of doing it full time, you probably are going to have
a bigger, better mill.
More in your workshop, aren't you? But not everyone's got the luxury of money to spend on equipment, space. You know, it's
because at the end, you can easily turn around and say, well, okay, a nice big combination rolling mill is like £800-900. Yeah, it's great, and whilst those rolling mills, there's nothing wrong with it. If you're just a beginner or student and money's a little bit, doesn't come that freely, so to speak, and you've been saving up, it's a great introductory mill. And it is a better one than the cheap imports that other companies are trying to bring into the country, because this is a nice British, and it has all the pedigree and the workmanship that Durston have. So yes, I agree. We've got this big agile C130 there. I've got another one downstairs that I've had for 35 years. They all play a part in the workshop, and this little guy is...
Can I say as well, I've only used the one downstairs a couple of times.
Yes.
And it makes me a bit nervous.
Why is that? Because of the size?
I don't know, because I don't know a lot about it, do I? But I think if you're a beginner as well, something like that is far less daunting.
It's quite manageable. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the other issue was... what was the other issue? That it's a direct drive.
It's a direct drive as opposed to a gearbox. Yeah. But again, a gearbox adds on several £100, but the idea is to bring these tools into a range that, as we said, students can afford them, beginners can afford them, and it's a great mill that's going to last. And if you feel like progressing, you could sell that mill on, and it's going to be brilliant. Should we go over and have a look at it?
What, me as well?
Well, you can stay there. You're on the chat. You are.
Okay.
So, if you want to have a bit more information on these mills, Louise has a couple of little links in her little stream deck that she can press to take you to Durston's website that has these mills on. But I'm just going to put you over onto this camera number three. Camera number 3, please. And we have our little mill.
Is this one geared or not? The one downstairs is geared. The new baby is not geared.
This is not geared. No. So this is the little. Oops, Daisy. Let me try and focus on this little guy here.
Say no card in camera. You got that? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get that off unless I put a card in. We had this problem last time in the live, didn't we? We had everything on the screen, didn't we? That was a bit confusing. So bear with me a second, guys. This screen's gone off. Let's put a card in. Let's put that on, and let's try again. And there we go. Yes, there we go. It is tiny. You can see the side. You can see my face by the side of it. Hang on.
You just might have a really massive face.
People do say I have a big head on one or twice occasions. It literally is very, very small. Let me get my ruler. We're not.
My audio isn't the greatest when the camera's not on me. You've got audio follows visual, haven't you, for me?
No, we're on.
Thanks, Natalia.
No, we're on and on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just talk louder, it's fine.
Oh, hang on a second. Let's turn that on. Is that better now for me?
Is that better?
There we go. Is that better?
Is that better?
Doesn't matter. No, we can't because that's plugged into here.
Okay.
It shouldn't be, so we should be fine. If I just turn that off, we should be fine on there. Anyway, right, here we go. This is it. So.
Could I convince him indoors it's a pasta maker? You could try.
You had to have really, really narrow pasta. You know, the distance...
Come to your house for tea.
The distance of the rolls is 70 mil. Yeah, it's small. The distance across the flats there are 35 millimetres. It is small, don't get me wrong. It's got 9 V grooves here.
Julie's asking about limitations.
Yep, limitations. Okay.
Tracy said it's not about the size of the tool, but it's how you use it.
That's what I always say, Louise. You should know that. It's not about the wand, it's the way you use it.
Can it take the Oregon silver templates? It can't.
No, it's only 40 millimetres. You can still use roller printing on it, but providing it's 40 millimetres wide or less, you can do it. So something like this here, this bit of metal like this here, yes, it can go through. It'll go through. It has a direct drive here, as you can see. In fact, let me take this camera.
Don't forget about the limitations. So I know it's not direct drive.
Yeah, here we go.
So it is a direct drive. It's not.
It is a direct drive, yes.
Does that? I don't know. Is there any element of greater control?
It's harder. It's
harder, but there's.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it's a direct drive. So basically, one revolution of the handle, like that, takes the mill round once. Yeah, so it's just nice. Let's just focus this again. There we go.
The weight, it should be on Durston's website, shouldn't it?
The weight, it is quite heavy, but not as heavy as the big boys.
Yeah,
and
I just think you two as meaning for freight.
Okay, yep. And on the top here, let's just try and focus this again. I got my DSLR. It's got the indications. You can't really see it that well with the lights, but you can just see it there. It's got the gun around there. You know what I mean? There we go. So that you can see exactly then what you're playing at. There we go. Let's focus on that. It can take 3.5mm thickness. So this can go up to, that's going down. This is a bit overkill, the stand I've got it on. So it can go up to 3.5mm. That's the stand moving, not the mill. So 3.5mm is the maximum thickness here, and it can take 7mm square through the V grooves there. I haven't got this bolted down properly. I've only just put it on top of here for now.
It doesn't need to go on a specific stand. It can be bolted onto a bench.
It can be bolted on a bench. Ideally,
but you would have to be bolted down.
You have to bolt them down, yes. And yes, you can come along and it will roll through. No worries. You can roll your wire down it.
So Faye, it doesn't need a special stand as long as it's bolted.
Yes.
Paul is asking, would you have got this as a first mill when you were starting out?
It wasn't around when I was out.
It's only out now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me get back onto the camera now.
But had it been available to you?
If I was purely like a hobbyist and it was just something that I was doing occasionally, I think it's an ideal one. They do a mini mill. That's brilliant. But when I started, I was doing it. I wanted to set up my own business, and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to melt down gold, I wanted to melt down silver, recycle it and reuse it and so forth. And I knew that is what I wanted to do. So I needed a mill that was capable of doing all that.
Are there add-on rollers?
No, it's not, unfortunately. No, it's a combination. So there's nothing to be able to go on the outside. They are just the gears on the outside that you can see in the black cases by there. But if I was doing it as a hobbyist, if I was coming out of university and I had another job and I was just sort of dabbling, I think it's a brilliant, brilliant mill. But you've got to understand it is a direct drive. So sometimes if you try to take metal down too much, it is going to be a little bit on the awkward side because it is a direct drive. It's not a gearbox on it. But overall, it is for the size, and also there is a flat. So there's also the same mill, 50mm in width, and they're completely flat, so there's no V grooves at all. So some people don't want to do wire, they just want to roll some flat sheet down, 50mm wide. I think that maybe, do I have any plates up here? Yeah, I do. Oh, let's look at these in the packets. See, they're 60, so you can't do Oregon Trail's plates through it. Although, I think the Oregon Trail do narrower plates, and I think they are 2-inch.
Okay. Because that was Julie was asking if it was the flat. Piece of silver on an embossing plate through, if it was narrow enough.
If it was narrow on the flats, yes.
Yeah.
You can still do roller printing with it.
Oh, perfect mill for art show crowd. Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a really good application for it, actually, isn't it? If you're doing.
Yeah, just some demonstrations, that sort of thing. Providing you've got to bolt it down. I've just got it on a.
Could you clamp it?
A cabinet. No, there's no way to clamp it.
Yeah,
you have to bolt it down, ideally in the 4 holes. Bolt it down securely to a bench, and it's fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. So, go on. Any questions?
Anko, is 3.5mm thickness a bit of a limitation, or won't ingots often be a bit thicker?
If you're doing rectangular ingots, you can do ingots up to, is it 7mm square?
I think that's what you said last night, yeah.
Yeah, I think 7mm, which if you pour it out into an ingot mould, 7mm square should be ample. So you can roll down your ingots with it, not a problem. If you've got sheet, if you're using those adjustable molds and it has the, those full 2 halves that you can make round wire or D-section or sheet, you should be able to just about pass that through. 3.5mm is pretty thick. I don't very rarely have anything that's 3.5mm flat. We always have sheets around about 2mm maximum that we usually roll down. And again, likewise with the ingots, we don't have anything that thick at all. So yes, it is suitable for that, but don't expect it to glide through. You're going to have to work on turning the handle because it is a direct drive, absolutely. Right, and have we heard from Matthew yet? Have you heard of, not yet? Yes, no? No. We haven't heard from Matthew yet, but we're going to be getting a code that you can take 10%. I think it's 10%. He did say actually there is 10% off this particular mill with a particular code that we're going to be giving out when he gives it to us, but only off this mill and the flat mill. Anyway, should we have a question, Louise?
Okay.
Today, we've talked about the rolling mill. Any more questions on the rolling mill before we go any further?
Not that I saw.
Cool. Anything more?
Not on the mill, I don't think, unless I've missed any.
Do you have to
other
have a special
animals.
stand? No, any stand.
Yeah.
Paul Crossman blames his toes, correct?
The weight is
Susan?
likely to be on the Durston website, isn't it?
It is, yes.
And if not, if you get in touch with either us
But yeah,
or the
we'll put
Durstons,
it on
then
the
they will.
scales.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they will help you with that, no problem. No, I think we've done the questions on the mill.
Cool. It's a little T-handle. Let me try and zoom out on that. It's a T-handle, so it does bring the price down. It's got a plastic gauge on the top. Let me try and lift up this camera here a minute so you can have a look from that down on the top. Let's angle that down a little bit. There we go. Cool. So that's the little boy there. A nice T-handle. You can see how small it is. There's my hand. Cute. Cute. Not just me, but the mill. Okay, it's the 8th of March. Welcome to the question and answer for Monday, the 8th of March. Let me have some questions, please, Louise.
Okay. H. Van Straten. I have made 3 rings using 935 silver, 1.5mm thick. The one I've just finished, I used hard solder for the joint, but when I sat and finished it, the thin seam is just noticeable. Why?
It could well be that the joint is not as close fitting as it should be, because if the joints should be coming close together, there should be no daylight poking through that at all. If that is the case, you should have the most thinnest solder joint going. Perhaps you haven't filed down that solder joint. Perhaps what has happened is you've got your ring here like this. Here's your joint, and perhaps when you soldered, the solder flowed over the surface here. So perhaps you actually haven't filed all that solder off, and to be left with just that very thin line and the satin finish. Now this is the problem. If you highly polish something, the solder takes on a polish, obviously, like the rest of the silver does. So it's going to be highly polished. If you matte something, anything that is not the same metal as the parent metal is going to show. So if your idea is to have a matte finish on a ring, I would consider fusing, but if you use 935, what I would suggest you do is not use solder, because obviously solder is not the same as your parent metal. Okay, so what I would do, I would put the joints together so it's nice and tight. I would not use solder. I would use the same metal as what you've got here to make a very, very thin fillet, a thinnest piece of metal you can have, okay? So your rectangular wire is coming round like this, okay? So here's your join, okay, in that. Let me try and zoom in on that for you to see. So that is what you've got, okie dokes. Then I would get that very, very thin sliver of metal, and I shall draw that in another colour, because I can. So what I would do is then put in the sliver of metal, and I would put it like this, okay? So I would put it like that, okay? And I would have it about 1 millimetre or so wider than the rest of the metal all the way around. So this is your metal, okay? So this sliver is the same metal as this. Then I would get my torch and I would melt it. You would fuse this. It's almost the same way as what we do when we do platinum work. You would then melt, you'd get your torch, Here's your torch. Oh, I'm using colours today. Big boy today. Here's your torch. Okay, so what you're doing, you're melting this all around here. You're melting this, melting until you've melted this down and it fuses with the rest of the metal that goes around it. And because now there is no solder joint, it's the same metal, you should be able to file it all down and you should have no solder seam because it's not solder, it's the same parent metal. So that is something you can do, and that is basically called welding. You're welding the joint as opposed to using solder, which is a different metal. Welding, you will use the same material as this, and you should then have a joint with no telltale sign in it at all. But it does need a very, very hot flame, something like a Smith's little torch, to be able to do that. Hope that helps. Louise, may we have another question, please?
Yes. Natalia is asking, how would you suggest I drill into amber for a necklace underwater? I'm not going to electrocute myself, am I? I have a Dremel.
The problem with amber, because it's resin, it's not like a hard stone. It's a soft resin. And what happens when you drill into plastic, if the drill gets too hot, it starts to melt and it starts to melt its way into the plastic and the drill will become stuck. The amber will melt, so you have to drill slowly. So perhaps I would not use a Dremel.
Could you use a hot poker? Just be there a while, I suppose, wouldn't you? You'd have to keep heating it up.
Putting it back in, heating it up, putting it back in. We were watching Jurassic Park last night, weren't we, talking of amber? Okay, so the other thing that you can get, do you know what? I've got 3 of them, aren't I lucky? What you can also use is this. This is called an Archimedes drill. Okay, it's a drill that can only accept up to 1 millimeter thick diameter blades. Drills, okay, like that. And it's called an Archimedes drill because Archimedes had that screw principle, didn't he? Remember, he had water at the bottom of his. Did he do the irrigation? He had the water at the top, and they turned the handle, and the water then followed the spiral up. That's beside the point. So this is an Archimedes drill. I've got a bit of wood around here that I can show you. So I have. So this is what we got. You'd have your piece of amber taped down, fastened down, whatever it would be, okay, on this little block. You get your drill, you put your drill on top. Let's just widen that a little bit more. There we go. And you put your finger on the top and you do this. You pull that down and you keep going back and forth, okay? And what happens, zoom in on this, should get some cameraman on this, shouldn't we really? Then what you do, as you bring this down. A woman, sorry. The camera woman.
It's International Women's Day.
I'll come to that in a minute. So as you move this up and down, the drill starts to turn. So it drills slowly. It just drills through the bit of wood there, nice and easy. And it does not produce any heat. So that's what I'm trying to get to. A Dremel is, what's the 2000 revs is the slowest it'll go. I have a feeling that may be too much. You may have to just feather the pressure on a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. But if you have something like this, it'll only set 1 millimeter drills, but it's a good starting point and you can just move that up and down and that will drill slowly through the amber without producing any heat, and you should be able to drill through quite easily with it. But it's the heat that you're going to have problems with. Or you could make sure you get some resin, some beeswax or some cool heat. Oh, some cool, why shut up, Andrew. Or some cut lube, or a little bit of beeswax to try and cool down the drill, because the friction will heat up the drill, heat up the amber, and the amber, yes, it will melt. I think that helps. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Beth has got a ring with diamonds set on what I'm sure is soft gold. The stones have turned green under the setting. What could cause this and how to remove?
Right, you have to find out if you can you get to the back of the stones? We don't know.
Don't know.
Are they real diamonds? We don't know. Sometimes, yes, sorry, going back to whoever just posted, is this Archimedes drill great for doing little dents, little divots? Absolutely, yes.
Sea glass?
Sea glass?
Can you use it with sea glass?
No, it's going to be no. Sea glass is great because sea glass won't melt. So you can use your diamond tipped drills for that.
Okay.
Diamond tipped drills for sea glass. It's nice and hard. You can go through it. Yeah, things like carved antler, anything that is not going to produce heat, the little Archimedes drill is going to be fine for it. You're going to have to find a way of getting behind the stones to get any dirt out this trap behind. That's why I don't usually like to do any setting with closed backs. Even though, we seem to have something happening over there, Louise. What's happening?
Why's that going off?
We got something going off. Hang on a minute.
Turn it off. It's
Hang
doing
on.
my head in.
Hang on. Oh, hang on a second. We got something going off on the other side of the room a minute. Can you see any like red flashing? I don't know why is that going off, Louise?
I don't know. Nothing's happened to make it go off.
Hang on a second, guys. Hang on a second. I just got to try and turn this off a minute.
Make it stop.
Okay, don't look at the lights. Don't look at the light, Louise. Don't look at the light. What's it on? I got to try and turn this off. Hang on.
Should we get it? People don't know what's going on. It's this thing. Oh God! What did you call if this then that? It was supposed to set things off.
Yes. Here we go. There's Louise there. Look.
I can't look at it. It's giving me a headache.
It's like a police. Okay, we'll come to that in a minute.
Can we make it? Can I just unplug it?
Yeah, click it on the side.
I
Click
can't
on the
have this going off.
No, click it on the side. No, the side of the plug.
Oh. There's no switch. Oh.
There we go. Well done, Louise. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that interruption by the flashing red lights. As long as we don't get interrupted by the flashing blue lights, we're all right.
Yeah.
You have to get behind the stones to be able to clean it out, and that's the reason why I don't like to have anything closed back, because even if you sort of flush set it, there's always a bit of dirt that gets trapped inside those stones, and you cannot get in there to get it out. So the important thing is ultrasonic it, obviously, steam clean it if you possibly can, and just try and get in behind those stones to get rid of the dirt from behind. But a steamer would be absolutely fantastic way of doing it. I have no idea where the light went off. Have a look at that. But the whole idea is to practice these things before our main 12-hour.
This is why we do these tests. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe have a next question, please, Louise.
Sorry, I was too busy fussing over the light then. Elizabeth.
Okay.
Oh.
It's okay. I just turned it on and off then. That was me that time.
Okay. Elizabeth's been having some trouble with the forum, which we need to keep an eye on.
Okay.
But it's early days with the forum, so yeah, any these little hiccups will be ironed out if anybody's had problems.
Yes.
Janet has hatched 10 baby chicks.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, well, she hasn't physically hatched them, they hatched from our hens. Oh, I'd love to have hens.
Don't say it like that.
It's the truth.
That's cute.
Oh, that's lovely. So spring has sprung. Fantastic. Well, it's always sprung in Fort Adventure, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So whilst Louise is just going through those questions
Lots
in a minute,
of chat.
yes, regarding the forum, it's still early days. It's only a week old. What we don't allow is links to within the chat to places like Vimeo or YouTube or anything like that. But other links you should be able to include in there now. So, and also the short codes you should be able to put within the messages as well. I don't think there's a setting up on this particular chat that allows PMing between members of the forum, unfortunately. I don't think there is. I'll double check, but I don't think there is a setting for that. So if you do have any problems logging in and you've logged in and it says please log in, clear your cache, log back in. Do we have another question, please, Louise?
Yes. Dee is asking, if you were an aspiring jeweller and had the chance to attend a year-long course, Level 3 Jewellery Fundamentals in either Birmingham or London, which city would you choose and why? Have I missed some questions?
I think Juan said you can can you fuse fine silver? Yes, you would fuse fine silver, but not necessarily with a little fillet. You can put the surfaces together, and as soon as you see that flash on the surface, they're actually fused. So yes, you can do it with fine silver. Which would I choose? I absolutely love London. I love the bustle. I love when I used to work with Sutton Tools when they used to do the International Jewellery London in Earl's Court. I used to love London. I just loved it. I used to plan my evenings. I used to go out with my camera and have a go on the underground and plan this, plan that. I've still got my little Oyster cards from London. Me personally, would go to London because I think it's as a city, a far better place, no offence to Birmingham, than Birmingham. I can't say which court is going to be better, but if you want the city, the massive city, and I love things like this, like the street signs, in London, and the underground and the Thames and the London Bridge. I'm a sucker for all touristy things, so I would definitely go to London. Absolutely. How's that?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Next question then, please, Louise.
Elizabeth is asking, working with bronze, really struggling to get solder to flow. Does it oxidise more quickly or require different flux, maybe?
Ooh, I really can't answer things on things like bronze. I really don't have any experience whatsoever with brass or bronze or anything like that, I'm afraid. Perhaps there's somebody within the chat that can help with that. I don't know whether, I'm sure a silver solder would work with bronze, perhaps a borax wouldn't, perhaps you have something like all flux to be able to do that. But yes, I would definitely check on Google or ask within the chat. I'm sure that somebody has some experience with bronze. Sorry. Next question, please, Louise. It's going off again.
It's going off for an actual reason this time.
Hey! Oh, and look what we got as well. Hang on, look. Look. Hey, my light. Woo! Thank you very much, David. You triggered off my lights. You triggered off that flashing thing. I've got to turn off, actually. Let me turn that.
Yeah, it's giving me a headache.
It's giving me a headache. There we go. Thank you very much. These are the few little things that we're trying to organise for our next live stream that's coming up in a few months' time. Exciting things when people donate. Louise, if you look down, not you, Louise, if you look down in the chat, there's something with a $sign. You can click on that and you can donate money. It's entirely up to you. Thank you very much for everybody who does donate. Really do appreciate it. Nick, perhaps you can give us some advice if you're working with bronze now. What is the best way to solder it? Would really appreciate it. Is that last orders? Here we have the next question, please, Louise.
David said that's for the baby chick fan. Thank you, David. Right, my chat's gone all skewiff and sideways over this. I'm just going to use this. Shaheen, any advice on how to approach apprenticeship opportunities?
This is really hard in especially this precise moment in time with the COVID situation, with everybody being shut and everybody's businesses sort of not running down, but as low as they've possibly been for years and years and years and years. Apprenticeships. There is no definite apprenticeship in the UK. What I would advise you to do is just do what you can on your own. Build up your level of expertise through repetition, through soldering, through filing. Do all those basics, and then be prepared then to get a little job with another jewellers who wants someone to take on. The problem with an apprenticeship is it takes so much time for the master jeweller to teach that sometimes they have so much work on they don't have time to teach. But if you can come on board with some skills that you can work on without too much not narration, too much interaction, but you can still build up your skills and you can ask questions from master setter, master polisher, master mounter. Hey! It's going off again.
Thank you, Louise.
Louise, thank you so much indeed. You've got these lights. This is working well. I am really chuffed with this. I should really bring that on the desk now, shouldn't I? Because it's just going off again.
Bring it over?
think we're going to have problems with the... and I got to turn that off by there.
Look him in the disco.
Disco. Oh, perhaps I'll get some disco lights. D-I-S-C-O. There we go.
90s.
D-I-S-C-O. Let me put it on the edge of there. There we go. How's that by there? How's that? And I can do that nice and wide on there now. There we go. Okay, sorry guys, I'm out of shot now. Let's have a look at that now. There we go. Cool. Okay, that'll work. All right then. So, apprenticeships, really, really difficult, I think, these days. Your best bet is to say, build up your skills, and then, what's my... Okay, so build up your skills and then approach a jeweller's. Not necessarily one of the multiple jewellers in the high street, the small little workshops that specialise in repairs, that specialise in... Yes, Louise?
It didn't go off for All Action Sports.
Oh, flashy, flashy. Thank you very much for All Action Sports. Didn't go off, oh dear.
Sorry.
Oh, do apologise. To have a word with IFTT. Yes, to go to a small jeweller's. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. I don't know what's happened because I've lost my chat down here now, but thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. For Louise's chick fund. So it's gone from the wine fund now to the chick fund, is it? Nice one.
Janet started it.
Who started it?
Janet.
Janet, I know. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. Louise, may we have a next question?
Yes. Ashley is using Tripoli and Rouge with the Dremel on silver, but I'm never happy with the finish and end up putting it in a tumbler, which works well. Do I need to bite the bullet and get a 4-dump flex shaft?
No, you should be able to still use the Dremel. You do have to make sure that it is spinning at least 8,000 revs. If you've got a Dremel, mine's down there and it has a variable speed, so you can choose 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The 1,000 revs, you should be able to work it, no problems at all. You have to remove all the scratches as best you possibly can, first of all, and then polish at 90 degrees to your scratches, so to speak. So if you are buffing across and you had all little very, very faint lines going across your piece of metal that way, you then would come along with your wheel and you would buff, you would polish at 90 degrees, and then when you come then to use the rouge, you then would come at 90 degrees to that. So you're always crisscrossing and evening out the surface. I'd have to see how you're doing that, but you should be able to use the Dremel with no worries. If you can just explain what is happening, because sometimes if you are polishing, always make sure you replenish the Tripoli on whatever mop it is you're using quite regularly, every few seconds. Dip it back in, and so forth. So there's always plenty of polish on the surface. If you're finding you're getting a bit of a black polish staying on the surface, try increasing the revs. Sometimes that's a little bit too slow, and that would polish a lot easier. Once you've done it over that with the Tripoli, make sure that all the Tripoli is removed from the surface. Washing up liquid, ultrasonic, whatever you've got, make sure it's perfectly clean. Get your rouge mops then, not any mops that you're using your Tripoli with. You've got to have different mops for your rouge, and preferably something like these small, where's it gone? There we go. These small little felt mops like that are going to be ideal. And again, go at 90 degrees to the angle that you just did with your Tripoli. And again, completely make sure you get your rouge and you put it on the mop and you go onto the piece, on your rouge, onto the piece, and so forth. And make sure you get plenty of polish. And then when you come in to finish off, just have a little bit of a lighter touch and don't replenish the polish as much, and you should get a really, really good finish. But without actually seeing your process, it would be very hard for me to say exactly why you're having problems. But just let me know. Next question, please.
Johan is asking, do you have any tips to prevent counterfeiting?
You can register your design. It's all as in people copying your designs. Yeah, or people copying things like Gucci, that sort of thing. I'm not quite sure what the situation is. What do you think?
I presume you mean your own designs, Johan, do you?
Stopping people copying you. There's no real way of stopping
Logos, obviously, because we saw something, didn't we, which...
On one of the Facebook groups, she was reproducing actual Gucci logos
Well, you can
upon
do
her
that for your own
pieces.
personal
Absolutely,
use, can't
yes,
you? There's nothing
you
wrong
can.
with that.
But you can't sell it.
But then saying that,
or
she didn't say
advertise
she
it.
was selling it or advertising it.
They're going like
She just-
hotcakes.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, they're going like
no.
hotcakes.
You do have to be so careful, don't you?
Yes. So yeah, I would not. Okay, so what I would suggest, and I read. Oh, my book's downstairs. I must remember to bring my book up. I forgot my book. I've remembered this week. So what I would always suggest you do, if you have a specific design that you think is the most.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Going back to Johan, it's his logo.
Okay.
Or her logo. Sorry.
So
yeah.
I would make the design. I would take pictures of it. I would draw it. I would put it in an envelope, and I would send it to yourself with a special delivery or some sort of proof of posting upon that. And because then when you post it to yourself and it becomes delivered to you, you keep the whole thing sealed. You do not open it, because then it has the date written upon the mailing, and also then if you don't open it, that is proof that on that date that creation was made. So they can't say that they've copied it and so forth. You have the proof that you made it on that date. Someone comes along and makes it, 3 years later, you can prove that you had the original design back then because you've got this bit of envelope with all the designs in it. That's what I read a long time ago. You can also register your designs. If it's a logo, you can register it as a trademark. Do you want a pen?
It's okay.
You can register it as a trademark. How many pens do you need?
They're all
There you go.
nice.
You can register it as a trademark. I've done At the Bench, and it did cost a few £100s. We have to say exactly, is it the logo? Is it the design? Is it the colours? What are you applying this logo to? Because the logo could apply to different areas, whether it be things like food, manufacturing, and so forth. There's lots and lots of things to do, and I would recommend definitely you do that. And that'd be the best way, I think, you cannot stop people copying. And there's lots of discussions on Facebook to say about, can I copy somebody else's designs? And they say, yes, providing you change it by 15, 20%, 10%, you change the design. But then why would you want to copy somebody else's work? We had somebody come to us with a Victorian, what's the name again? Vivienne Westwood pendant.
No, yeah.
And they said, can you make this for us? And I quite happily turned around and said, no, because I said, that is not what we do. We do not copy somebody else's designs. So I've started now to turn around and in the first place and go, no, we don't do it. And that stops the conversation. That's about it. Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
What, any ideas for you? Any ideas that can't stop it? You cannot stop people copying, can you? At the end of the day.
No.
And if it's a design, you can also feel quite flattered that someone's copying.
It's a sincere form of
flattery.
But yeah, it is bloody annoying though, isn't it?
Yeah. And also ideas, when people have ideas and they try and palm them off as their own, which I do quite often when Louise has ideas.
Yeah, you do that.
This morning, Louise had a really, really good idea. Is it this morning?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, was it?
But the best part of it is I have these ideas, I tell you my ideas, and then 10 minutes later you try and convince me that it was your idea. And I'm like, didn't I just say that to you not 5 minutes ago? You're the king of doing that.
Yeah, okay, maybe have a next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, hang on, have we heard anything from Matthew yet?
Ooh.
Have we heard anything at all?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so we have now, so if you've been wanting to know, we can give you a 10% discount code on that rolling mill that I'll just, my camera's gone off. We will give you a discount code that you can use off this particular mill and also the flat one that Matthew's very kindly given us. Can I got the camera on there? Yes, there's the little dinky boy there, and there's my little red light. This is going to start to flash when someone donates. Louise, you can put this discount code in the checkout to get 10% off.
think we'd have another question first, shall we?
You little sod. Go on, what's the next question
All
then,
Active
please, Louise?
Sports would like to know tips on moving from silver to gold. Any special tools needed to get started or different processes?
Exactly the same process, just...
I knew this would be a quick one,
just very quick. Exactly the same process, same flux, all flux, boracic acid, magic borax, boric, or whatever you want to call it, all flux, borax, same. Okay, so you can use the same files. In theory, you may get some contamination between the two, but if your files are kept nice and clean, you should be fine. You should have no problems at all. Exactly the same tools, same technique, same bashing, same annealing, same bending. The only difference that I would say is solder, because you're going to need gold solder as opposed to silver solder. It does become quite expensive then when you have to start buying. I don't have any up here now, but those little panels of gold solder, because of the price of gold now, it is pretty expensive. So I've started buying solder wire, because you can buy that by the length and it's far cheaper than buying it by the panel, especially the 18 carat that we just bought the other day. But apart from that, it should be annealing's the same, the soldering block's the same polish, you can use the same mops. It's exactly the same, it's just the solder that is different. Can we have that code, Louise? Have you entered it in?
Before I do, I've just
you
got
entered
quick,
it.
I didn't notice these questions. Sorry, Joe asked, is it still agile? Yes, it is.
As an agile
Yep.
C70, yes.
Romy, would the DRM 130 be a better purchase than the agile?
If you're going to go for the DRM, I would get the one with the extension rolls on the outside. Definitely. It offers a little bit more flexibility, because you get the extension rolls that go on the outside that enable you then to do your D-section wire, which then frees up the rest of the rolling mill. Because with the agiles, you've got, especially on the C130 I got by there, you've got the D-sections, the flat and the V grooves all along one roll. If you went for the DRM, go for the extension rolls, so you've got a wider flat, and you've got the grooves, the V grooves, but then the D sections are on the outside of the machine, and you can get different sized D section rollers to go on the outside. So yes, I would go with the DRM with the extension rollers, yes.
Sorry, I know you went over this in a few detail a few moments ago. What shapes wire were on the C70?
They're V grooves. So they are V grooves. So the top roller does this, and the bottom roller does that. Yeah. So they're V's. So you can use the flats. That was about, my drawing's terrible, that was about 35mm, wasn't it? The flat's about 35mm, and then you've got 9 V grooves, and they get smaller, 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 smaller. Only V grooves, so there's no D sections, no nothing like that. They are purely flat and V grooves, which enables you to do your square wire. And if you have square wire, you can always put 2 rectangular sections together side by side and then pass them through, and you should be able to get triangular section. But anyway, that's another ballgame. Right, next question then, please, Louise.
Are the extension rollers on the Durston mills interchangeable?
Yes, they are. You can take the circlip off the outside, and they are exchangeable. Durston do make several different sizes. You can also ask Durston to make up some ones just for you. And I got some extension rollers made by Walsh in this country many years ago, and I still use them today.
Paul is asking, is it worth waiting to get a geared or better to just have a mill? I think you kind of know if you see that and you think that's perfect for me. If you've got limited space,
gosh, yes.
Or it depends where you are in your journey. Doesn't it, I guess?
I would always suggest you. That's a simple direct drive. It's not for professional use. It's not necessarily for everyday use for doing a lot of heavy big stuff. If you have the chance of buying a geared mill, buy a geared mill, because it is so much easier. But that obviously comes at a price, and you may want to save your money and invest in a flex shaft, pendant motor, or some more tools, or some pickle pot, or bench mounted polishing motor, and you may use the rolling mill, perhaps once or twice a week. You want to take some metal down a little bit. That's fine. that is what I would do. But if a roller mill is going to be your workhorse, like it was with me, I want to melt metal down, I want to roll it down, I want to recycle and everything else, and you're going to be using it every day, save you money to buy one that is geared, definitely. How about that code list, Louise? Have you programmed it?
I just love the power of it.
Have you programmed it into the Stream Deck?
No, I didn't.
You did. Shut up. Of course you.
Really
of course you have.
I haven't, but I will tell you it.
It is.
If you're going to be nice.
Oh, I am always nice. I made you a cup of coffee.
You're getting a bit frothy now, Andrew, with the codes. Calm down, please.
I think it's in the Stream Deck. I think I saw you put it in the Stream Deck. It is in there somewhere.
All right, don't spoil it.
I think I saw you put it. You're just playing with me. You're just having me on. It is in there. So we're going to give you a code to put into. If you're interested in this mill, it's the C70. It's also the flat, the F50. You can get 10% off these mills if you're interested. Because it is a good little mill. And if you're big and hefty, you can put a chain through it and wear it as a necklace. Just saying.
Okay.
Right, Louise.
Do you want the code?
Please, just put that code. Did you put everybody out of their misery?
You had taking delivery of DRM 130C. What oil should I coat it with when I finish for the day?
You just don't necessarily need to coat it. I would just wipe it down with a sponge with a little bit of a cloth with some light engineering oil in it. That's all you really need to do.
Happy New Mill!
Happy New Mill! Hey, happy
Because I know you emailed me earlier in the week and you were excited, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it's
put some photos of your setup on the forum. We'd love to see.
Yeah. We love new tools. We love new tools. But yeah, just gently wipe it down with a little bit of a rag. Perhaps put the rag. Let me just go over to this and I'll quickly show you. So you just get like a bit of a rag. Pretend that this now is the rag. You put the rag in by there, in between the two mills, and you just turn that around a couple of times like that. This is an oily rag and it will coat the surfaces. That's the best way to do it, and it's a light engineering oil, like a 3-in-1 oil. That's all you really need to do.
Trevor's asking, is there a code?
Louise, just please. We got 198 people now that you are in control of. Right. Okay. So this is the code you need to put in if you were interested in this mill. I'm not quite sure how long it's available for, but we'll say a good week, 2 weeks, I'm sure. What is it, Louise? Please let me have a look.
Out of your misery?
Yes. Come on. What's
What's
it say? Your discount code is
Baby Durston!
Baby Durston! So there is your discount code for a 10% discount off the Agile C70 and the Agile F50. Those are the links as well that you can click on to go and see it. It is Baby Durston, all one word. That's cute, isn't it? A Baby Durston.
Baby Durston.
Oh, the baby's just arrived. The Baby Durston. Oh, it's very nice, isn't it? So there we go. So everyone's going to go, everyone's going to disappear now. Now we got the code.
Bye, guys.
So, Baby Durston, put that in your checkout, you get 10% off. Marvellous. Was it 425 less 10% plus the VAT? I think that's a bargain for what it is.
Good.
And this
It'll last.
It'll last you quite a while, I should say so. And it's good quality. The gears are all geared oiled for life. Yeah, what's not to dislike? Mm-hmm. Next question then, please, Louise. Now we've all got.
Okay, let's go back up here a bit.
What's happened to the chat then, Lou?
It's gone. It's just gone on its head over.
You on live chat or top chat?
I don't know. I don't know. It's gone bad. Some of the guys have been talking about all the glitters.
Oh yeah, it's not on yet.
It's going to be starting.
Yes, it is. End of this month. End of the month, I think it is. Yes.
So that looks really good.
Yes.
Natalia said we should have a Facebook group to
discuss it.
Yeah.
Nicely.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Did that one. Baby chick band.
Yeah, Louise is just scrolling through.
Also, speak to the BAG. They do some good info on apprenticeships.
They do,
That's
yes.
good to know. At what point can you call yourself a master jeweller? I don't think I will ever take an apprenticeship, but plan to use at the bench website. Fabulous.
What I don't know what is. I don't think that. Now this is what we were discussing quite a few months ago, isn't it? It is not up to you to call yourself a master jeweller.
If there was if you could do a master's, I don't know if there was like a that's the thing, isn't it? The qualification. There's no. I suppose there is, isn't there, in Birmingham and London, like you were saying. But there's. It's difficult, isn't it, to measure.
Yeah, measure your knowledge, measure your experience. What makes somebody a master over somebody else? I think anybody who turns around and says, "I am a master jeweller," I think really. I don't know. I don't think it's for you to call yourself. I
for
think
other people to say,
I think it's for somebody else to see you, to recognise what you're doing and go, do you know what? You are a master at what you do.
But
And
also, I think the attitude that there's always so much to learn, even when you think you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you don't think you know everything. I mean, you don't think you know everything after. Well,
35 years.
Sometimes you do, but that's not here. But yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because if you acknowledge the fact that it's a lifelong learning journey, then and it doesn't end.
So what do you call yourself? So are you a master? Are you a master jeweller? So does
have a belted system, shouldn't we?
A belted. So a master jeweller, does that mean you're a master at wax carving, lost wax casting, stone setting, micro parve, sawing, piercing, fold forming? Are you a master at every single possible topic? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. But are you a master within your own field? If you are a caster and nothing but casting, and you know everything to do with casting, you could be a master caster. Or you're doing wax carving, and you could be a master wax carver, you know everything about wax carving. But if you call yourself a master jeweller, that umbrella is huge. And
Surely you become a master jeweller when you get fellow status within the Institute of Professional Goldsmiths. That's what Dee is saying.
That's very. Hey! We've got the light flashing. Thank you all very much.
Nothing's happened.
Hey, Ghost Town! Thank you very much. Institute of Professional Goldsmiths, very good, recognisable body. Again, it is very specific. Institute of Professional Goldsmiths. I know Stephen Goldsmith. I'm trying to turn this thing off a minute. Yes.
Mob 180 is saying, I see some people call themselves, always thought it was a class or a certain degree that you have to have. I don't think it is,
I don't know. What degree would it be?
Like a master's
master's degree? Does that make you a master at what you're doing? I don't know. I don't think it does. I really don't know. It's a very good topic. I think it's something that we could talk about for a long, long time.
The thing is, you've taught for 10 years and you've got 35, 40 years experience, but you wouldn't refer to yourself, I don't think, as a...
No. Because does a master then turn around and go, I know everything to do with this?
You never know everything.
You don't.
Even you.
No, you don't. No, you don't. This is why I buy books. I buy books on beginning soldering, beginning piercing, beginning making jewellery, because there's always going to be something that you just don't know.
And the minute you stop having that attitude, that's a slippery slope, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as you think, I know it all, I'm a master, I don't need to be taught, then yeah, that's not good. So I don't know. I think it's... And you can't say... the Jewelers of America used to have a certification where you can be certified level 1, 2, 3 and master.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think, do they still do it? I'm not quite sure whether they still do it.
Well, that's good, because there's obviously a clear pathway of learning and curriculum based.
But then, does that master know it all? Or is it purely the ability to make something? Is it based upon making something? Or is it based upon your knowledge on the trade and everything?
I don't know. It's obvious that it's a
recognisable,
recognised path to follow, which is
exactly
interesting.
Okay, and I think you're only a master if someone calls you a master. You can't call yourself a master.
You're waiting for me to call you a master?
No, not at all. No,
I'm not calling you master.
Right, Louise,
Yeah.
may we have a next question, please?
Okay. Let's see. I've lost my thread now completely. All this master banter.
Yes, for
What did
logos
we
you can
get?
trademark them, yes. Go, but what shapes are on the C70? Yeah, we've done that.
Were there any
bit.
more questions on the mill?
Extension rows on the side. But yes, that's an expensive session. Anything else? Louise is busy frantically scrolling through, so I'm just trying to catch up on a few
The
things.
chat's been busy today.
It is.
If you put 2 round rolls top to bottom on the extension, does it create round wire?
If you put two round rolls top and bottom, yes, it would do, providing these are your extension rollers you're talking about. Yes, if you get extension rollers that are exactly half and exactly half on the bottom, yes, you should be able to get round wire. Yes, you can. And also quart-shaped wire. Perhaps you can have a nice extension roller with a nice half on the top, and the bottom is a bit more like that. And then you're going to get a quart section wire when you draw it, when you roll it through. Absolutely, yes. And you can also buy pattern rollers as well from lots of suppliers in the Far East that will supply pattern rollers for them as well. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Louise, have you found the next question? So what was that code again? It was Baby Durston. So Baby Durston is the code, the coupon code to get 10%, whilst Louise is busy frantically looking at some questions.
I keep jumping on. This is just grambling in here today, I'm sorry.
Direct drive is good exercise. Yes, it is. It's good on the old arm.
See, it's jumping around. Okay, Livers Against
yes.
Rock. I've been trying to sandcast a ring in silver, attempted maybe 20 times, but can't get it to flow. It solidifies too quickly. Is it a heat issue?
Yes, but there's several ways around this. Without seeing what you're doing, what you really want to buy are the rings with the hole in the side. So the rings are like this, aren't they? Then you have another ring down here. Yep, like that, and that goes around like that. And there's one's male, one female. You want to get the rings with the little cutouts. Yep. Like that there. So there we go. You want to get the rings with the little cutouts that are like that, okay? In the side. So when they go together, you cast a lot better. And the reason being these rings are the best as opposed to the traditional Delft clay rings is because, and I don't know what you're casting. If you tell me what you're casting, I'll have a better idea and I can draw a proper picture. But if you are casting a ring or a coin, for instance, okay, and this is your mold here, here's the mold here, this is all your sand, and you have something in here that you want to replicate. Don't know what it is, whatever that shape is. Okay, and here's your other mold that goes on top, and here's your sand. And okay, so you have a sprue, and the sprue you've got coming down like this, okay? So this is your sprue, here's your wax, so here's your sand, and this is your pouring channel, okay? So your metal comes in this direction. All
It's
right.
a rectangular signet ring.
Okay, so if you are doing it this way, or you've got the sprue hole at the one end, the metal has to come down. The metal has to come down, stop, and flow there and flow there. It'll hit the mold here. You may get a bit of disruption of the sand, but the metal has to come in and flow, come in and flow. Okay, so there's a ways you can work around that. You have the sprue that goes into the mold, hardly any sprue at all, okay? So the pouring channel is basically that. And then you have the tiniest sprue, because what is happening is that you have your sprue hole and it does that. The metal is here. If there's a lot of metal, it stays hot and molten for longer than if it was very, very, very thin. As soon as the metal comes down to here, it starts to cool down really, really quickly. Yes, Louise?
I used my hand saw to cut the holes in the side. Still no good, but better, but not completely.
Okay, so this is what you need to do. The sprue cannot be long. The pouring channel has to go virtually straight into the mould. All right? So think about what I just said. If there's a lot of metal, it cools down slowly. If it's a small, thin bit of metal, it cools down quite quick, a lot quicker, all right? So what you want to do is this. You want to have those holes on the side, which is great. Okay, then you want to have the signet ring. I'm going to try and draw a signet ring, if I possibly can. Okay, so here's your... Bad, Andrew. So there's your signet ring, okay, like this. So which part of the ring is the biggest, the thickest, the heaviest? Okay, it's going to be the head. So where do you have the sprue? Where do you have that pouring channel? You have it at the thickest part. It happens when you come to do lost wax casting. You always have the sprue going into the thickest part, because if you had your sprue going into the shank here and here's the head, okay, the metal is coming in and it's thin. And the chance of this metal then traveling down here molten to fill the head is really remote. So you have the sprue going into the thickest, biggest area so the metal cools down slowly. All right, so the side view, you've got your, use your head, there's the shank, okay? So here is the thickest part. The sprue will come in like that, straight into the head. Not like this, okay? Because again, the metal has to cool down. The sprue has to be virtually non-existent. So as soon as your molten metal comes in here, it is on its way and it's flowing, whoosh, whoosh, already, and it's flowing in this direction. If you had the ring on its side, okay, so there's the side view of the ring, and you have the metal coming in here, it has to flow, not quite against gravity, but not with gravity. With this way, the metal comes in, gravity is go, oh, let's pull this metal down, oh, let's pull this metal down, oh, down here, and the chance you're going to get a successful cast is going to be much better and easier that way than if you did it on its side that way or had the sprue coming into the bottom. It needs to be at least 1.5 mm, 2 millimeters thick. So if the shank here is really thin, it's not really going to work, because again, if it's too thin, the metal solidifies. So when you're pouring it in, pour it into the biggest area, the biggest pouring channel you've got, and perhaps I'd have this hole, you know, 5, 6, 7 millimeters at least, to allow that metal to get into that mold fast, quick and molten. What else? Yeah, it's got to be quite thick, otherwise it's not going to work. And that should work. Don't forget, when you're heating up your metal, when you think it's molten enough, don't forget silver has a superheat. All metal has a superheat. There is a temperature that metal melts at. Okay, you see it melting. You take something getting quite frothy now. You take your torch off. It starts to solidify. You want to heat that metal higher than its melting point. It's called a superheat. You want to keep your torch on it. So once you think that metal is molten, keep your flame on it for at least another 20 to 30 seconds to raise that temperature higher, because as soon as you take the torch off, it'll start to come down in temperature. And if it's above melting point, it's got a long way to go before it starts to solidify. If you've only heated it to its melting point, take your torch off and it's already solidifying. So make sure you keep the flame on so the metal is hotter than what it needs to be molten, and then it should flow.
Okay.
Next question, please, Louise.
Do you know what we've forgotten?
Oh, we have forgotten.
We've forgotten something. We've forgotten about the raffle.
The raffle.
We finally...
We've finally remembered it and we've forgotten it.
There's been a very slight change of plan. We haven't been able to get hold of Bill, who was going to donate the sea urchin pendants. So we've put something else into the raffle in addition to the. Where am I now?
You're on the left, right in front of you.
So in addition to, we think it's purple banded agate. Did you say?
I think so. Yeah, purple banded. Yeah.
Purple banded agate.
So this is something that we made on At the Bench quite a while back now, that we're going to raffle off, and we're going to come to that in a second. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's a bit of a raffle.
That's that one. And as well as that,
we are going to be doing another raffle.
Sandra saying, can we please have an At the Bench forum section for Tool Talk?
Yeah, of course. Consider it done. And also, again,
I've never seen this one before. It's been there in my office since forever, and I've never seen it.
So again, this is something that we did on At the Bench for one of the. You have to hold it a bit higher. It is a leaf skeleton that we've used a rolling mill to put the pattern onto the silver, and we've done it almost like a swooping leaf dropping autumnal sort of pendant. Yep.
Lovely.
And Louise has.
It's surprisingly light. It looks like it's going to weigh a ton, but it's actually really, really comfortable.
Right. And Louise has a couple of pictures as well that she can put the links to if you want to have a closer look. So yeah, a little bit of a change of plan. We can't get hold of Bill, so we're putting another couple of items, or another item into the raffle. And the idea is this. We raised thousands of pounds for cancer research. We want now just to do those a little bit extra. We did have the few bits and pieces that we did when we did the demonstrations. We were going to raffle those off, but those aren't anything finished, so to speak. They were testing granulation, trying to do flush setting, and they were literally just little pieces of metal with that in. And we thought that's not fair, because that's not true representative of what we do. So the idea is you can win either one of those necklaces. You can't choose, unfortunately, but you can have a chance to win either one. And the idea is you just need to donate, and it's all going to be going to cancer research. That was our charity for the last live stream that was in November. So you can either donate £1, £2, £3, or whatever you want in multiples of £1. And for every pound that you donate, you will get one entry. So donate £1, you get one entry. You donate £2, you get 2 entries.
My finger slipped. I've just put the fork. Sorry, I won't hurry up.
So we're going to email everybody who left us their details and who entered the competitions at the last live stream.
Provided you opted in.
Provided you have opted in, and we won't be sending any emails out to those who said we do not want to receive information. We are good like that. So the idea is we are going to be raffling. No, we're not raffling. Raffling. Yeah, we are raffling off. So you donate £1. The money is all going to go to cancer research. When you click the link that Louise has just put in there, put it in again, please, if you don't mind, Louise.
Okay, this is just a close curve, isn't it? This chair?
Yes, yeah. Close curve. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a close curve, Sandra.
So the idea is you can donate £1, £2, whatever you want in multiples of £1, and you will then get multiple entries that go into the draw. We're going to give it about a week, and perhaps we'll draw it next Monday. Simple as that. Then you got a chance of winning one of these pieces that we made on At the Bench with the films here. You can
I don't want to give the leaf.
You quite like the leaf. You quite like the leaf, don't you? Quite like the leaf.
I don't want to part with it.
We were going through. There's a cabinet outside the workshop here, and whenever I finish a piece, I just put it in the cabinet. Finish a piece, I just put it in the cabinet. And Louise was going, oh, let me see what we can give away. I said, how about that? She went, oh, no, I like that. I fancy that for myself. How about this? How about, oh, look, there's a pearl ring. Oh, I'll have that. Shall I have that? And she's wearing it now. So we will mail the raffle prizes to anywhere in the whole wide world. Yes, we certainly will. There's no limitations, there's no nothing, providing it's £1, not $1. It's got to be £1, because then that is fair. When you click on the link, you'll be taken to a page. You click send. You can send £1, £2, £3. Do it for that's it, friends and family or whatever. If you choose anything else, we have to pay a percentage of that to PayPal. And I think for every £1 you would give if you donate it as a service, it's like 30 odd pence, so you won't get counted. So the idea is, please donate multiples of £1 to get 1 entry, 2 entries, 3 entries, or however many entries per £1 into the draw. And we'll do it next weekend. No, next weekend. Next Monday. Next Monday. Yep. Is that right, Louise?
Yep. Romy's having a birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday for
Happy
Wednesday.
birthday, Romy, for
week,
Wednesday.
Woo. Can you do that? Woo.
I can get my, hang on, I gotta try and do this, hang on.
It's gone now,
ready?
Ant.
Oh, the camera's gone off. Hey, there we go, camera, hang on, where are we looking to? There we go. There we go, we got it. There's the lights flashing for Romy's birthday on Wednesday.
Oh, it's gone dark again.
No, it's back, it'll come back on. There we go.
It's just a lag, okay. We should have had a warning at the start, shouldn't we?
Oh, flashing lights.
Yeah.
So, in this particular question and answer, you have got your discount code to get 10% off Dustin's Rolling Mill. Absolutely. And I'm going to be putting it through its paces. We only received that on the weekend. We had not even planned on doing a discount code. I'm just going to have a bit of a play with it. I'm going to bolt it down properly to a service and give it a good try. And perhaps I'll do a bit of a product review going through it. But it is a very good mill if you're on a limited budget. You're a beginner, you're a student, you're going to use it. It's absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much, Matthew, for offering that for us as well. The little PayPal link is down there to be raffled for those couple of pendants for the cancer research. And then we can give all the money then to cancer research that we've raised. I think the last time we did this, we raised several more £100 for UNICEF at that time.
Yeah.
So this time it is for cancer research.
Yeah.
So please give generously. Everyone has got an equal chance. It's not bidding who can bid the most. We don't want that. Everybody has an equal chance of winning this with simple £1 entry. Louise, anything else we want to say?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. Can I just say, what is it today, Louise? It's International Women's Day
Yeah.
today. So I want to give a big shout out to all the women out there. Awesome women. And you, I want to give a shout out to you as well, because you are an awesome woman.
Thank you. You're biased though.
No, I am. But from what you have done over the past, how long have we been part? We've been doing this now for 12 months, haven't we?
Yeah.
And you came into this completely with not even expecting to do what we're doing for as long as we've been doing it. And you've turned up every week, obviously with me, obviously.
You made me come.
And you weren't happy on doing it, but you're doing it, and you got a lovely attitude and a lovely face in front of the camera, and you help out. And do you know what I like now? I like when anybody messages us, it's Andrew and Louise.
Aww.
I don't mean that Andrew's first and Louise, but it's not just Andrew can do this, it's Andrew and
Some
Louise.
people say Louise and Andrew.
Or some people, obviously they know better than what we do. But it is lovely, and I want Louise to be recognised for all her hard work. It's not just what you see her do, and she's on the chat, and she's chatting to you all, and she pushes a little button. That isn't just what Louise does. She does so much more. She gave up her job, a good, reliable, steady job, to work with me in this place, and I think she's an amazing part of the team. I think in her last job she wasn't credited for much with your ideas and everything that you did, but you come into this business that you know nothing about at all. You didn't know your Durston rolling mill from your shank bender to your disc cutter when you came in, and you know so much. You work tirelessly. I know I'm saying it. You work tirelessly. You work so hard. What are you doing now? You're doing your GMA. In the summer last year, we did AJP, which was a little bit of that was a freebie done by the GIA. We did our AJPs. Louise got a little bit of a taster for what it's all about, and what she wanted to do was learn all about gemstones. So this is something that she's doing. She's doing her GMA And it's just amazing what you're doing. And you said, if I'd known it was going to be this much work, I wouldn't have done it.
I just stated no,
but it is.
But it is.
And again, you said that you've never worked as hard in all your life.
No.
And but the beauty thing is that I know you're my wife. I know that.
I'm glad
Because I got a ring on my finger that says so. No. And it's the best thing, the best decision that I've ever done.
What, get married to me?
Was marry you, yes. Was marry you, and also for you to become part of the team. Because you say you work for me. No, I don't want that. I don't want you to work for me. We work together. You bring so much into what we do, to At the Bench and the ideas you have. On the running mill this morning, I can't say. On the running mill this morning, she's running away, takes her headphones off. I've got an idea! Oh, what the hell? I've got an idea for when we reopen. And she's, this is what we're going to do. And I'm doing my weights, and I said, look, just talk to me afterwards. Tell me all about it afterwards. And she is constantly coming up with ideas. We could be sitting there of an evening, have a nice glass of wine, and she goes, oh my gosh, I've got an idea. How about doing this? How about doing this? And I go, right, let's do it. Because that's what you should be doing. Not saying, well, okay, well, we'll think about it. But it is. So I am, yes, as Susan says, happy. Yes, I am extremely happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, being married to you. It's just an amazing experience. You've woken me up. And what you do, not just within our private life, but also within business, is an absolutely amazing thing.
Thank you.
And I know something on Facebook this morning, but it is, do really bring so much enjoyment to everybody who you meet, and everybody within the chat here loves you, and you've got so much of a fantastic atmosphere going on, and I can't do that, and you've done that.
Okay. I don't know what to say now. Use a tissue.
So I just want to recognise the fact that Louise is absolutely amazing at what she does. She goes above and beyond what she should be doing, and she does work completely tirelessly. And sometimes we don't even leave here till 6 o'clock, and I go, oh, Louise, can we go home now? And it's usually the other way around. Come on. But no, it's, Louise, can we go home now? So, International Women's Day, I want to commend you for what you do.
Thank you.
I want you to put you on a pedestal. You're very good. Right, and with that done, let's go. No, I'm only joking. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, Baby Durston. Don't forget Baby Durston. Thank you, Andrew. But I don't know what to say.
But it is true. You bring so much happiness to everybody who you meet, and that's an amazing approach to life. And thank you.
Thank you.
That's okay. Right, that ends our question and answer. Thank you to everybody who has donated today. Really do appreciate it. We're doing things in the background. You've seen a few things that's been happening when we do our next 12 hour. You okay?
You spot my makeup now.
You okay? Yeah. Right, should we go?
Yeah.
I think, do you know what's in the fridge? There's that bottle of rhubarb wine in the fridge from yesterday that we didn't drink. Oh.
It's good for you. It's only a 5 a day. It's organic. It comes out of the garden.
Yeah, right, we're going to go. Thank you very much for everybody who's come on today. There we go. See, we love Louise Berry. Yes, we all love Louise Berry.
Thank you guys. You're all so amazing.
Absolutely. So there we go. We're going to go. We're going to have a glass of wine. I think it's nice and light outside. We can go into the summer house, can't we?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Let's just have one more of the Baby Durston. There you go. Have that.
Have that.
Have
is
that.
It? Have that. Is it going to come up? Yes.
Yeah,
there we go.
Oh
my God.
Okay.
That's okay. Wine time, definitely. Andrew and Louise, a couple of those. So
we're very lucky, aren't we?
Everybody, yes, we are. We are lucky. We are lucky to have each other. And have this crowd.
Do.
Yes.
Very lucky. It's hard work, but really love it.
It is hard work, but look at the benefits of everything. Just working with me.
Well, yeah. Best boss I ever had.
Right, okay, on that note, I think we'll leave you. And we're going to be back next Monday. And we're going to be carrying on with the soldering. Because last week we did the soldering.
Oh, God, not soldering.
Oh, God. We still have the little bits and things that we were soldering last week. We only had a chance to do that one little demo. But we plan on having an hour of demos next Monday. Soldering again.
I told you I'm not coming. Just soldering again.
Yes, Romy. Soldering again.
Trevor's saying yay. Yay.
Yay.
Can't wait for the soldering. Another 2 hours of soldering.
No, it's going to be not 2 hours. Hang on, I've got the right camera. There we go, that's the right camera. We are going to have soldering it. It's only going to be for an hour. We're not going to do
You
2
say
hours.
that now.
The last time we were talking about soldering, then we did some soldering and it did go over this that a little bit too long, admittedly. But it will be just the hour on soldering. So again, if you want, we got loads of questions that were asked last time. If you want any more questions, just message us. Perhaps we'll put it in the forum, at the bench forum, and perhaps we go to the tool talk.
Tool talk. If you're not a member at the bench, why not? But you can email me, Louise at andrewberry.co.uk, and you can send me your question via that, because you won't be able to access the forum if you're not a member.
Exactly.
But you
do
can
that.
still email me or Andrew.
Yep, do that.
Email me because he doesn't always. I'm a bit better at looking at my emails, aren't I?
This is what I'm on about. See, you're just an amazing woman. I've got no qualms.
My head won't get through the door now to go home.
If I say, Louise, can you just do this? Can you make sure this gets done? I don't even have to ask you twice because you remember it and you just crack on and you do it.
Don't email Andrew.
Don't email me. Email Louise. Louise at andrewberry.co.uk. Chris, you've just fused 400 jump rings. Congratulations.
Wow.
You're a better man than I.
It's Baby Durston.
Yes.
Baby, I only just joined.
Ken, if you want the rolling mill, Louise can just quickly do it again, if that's okay.
Baby Durston is the code.
There we go. Baby Durston is the code you need for the 10% off the rolling mill. So, thank you. We're going to go have our wine. We don't normally have it on a Monday. We haven't had it on a Monday for a while, but as we're celebrating Louise's International Women's Day, Louise's achievements, we are going to have a glass of wine. Rhubarb. Good. One for you, one a day.
5 a day.
Yeah. Well, 5 bottles. Well, we could throw 5 a day. Louise, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. We will see you next Monday, 4 p.m, 15th of March. Somebody's birthday that week.
No, it's Romy's this week.
Oh, Romy's this week, yeah. Okay.
Don't try and spoil Romy's birthday now. Don't try and overshadow it.
Everyone, take care. We will see you all next week, 15th of March, 4 p.m. for another session on soldering. In the meantime, don't forget, use the codes, have a look at the picture. Please donate to PayPal for a chance of winning one of the pendants. All the money is going to go to cancer research.
Should we have that one more time?
Yeah. And perhaps we can post the links in the discussion into the description of this video after this as well, once it has been sorted out by YouTube.
Trees, yeah, we came on at 4. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock every Monday.
Yeah, 4 o'clock every Monday.
Lovely.
So
you can watch it back.
Yeah, you should be able to replay it and watch it back.
From the beginning and watch it
and
back.
You can watch all the codes that we got going available and the chance to win one of the prizes for the pendant for the cancer research. Take care. We will see you all next. Can I slide ready, Louise?
Actually.
See what I mean? Just got it all. Take care. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.